Now, I will say, if you want it to be taken a little bit slower, do watch the video of the other section 6B, because I'll have a little bit more time easily. And yes, that is when it ends. So, no, 11:20 is when the next class starts. Oh, wait, no, you're right, Sarah. But the schedule's written wrong. But Sarah is absolutely correct. Silly, Mr. Kenny. Thank you, Sarah. You're my favorite Mannix in this class. All right. So what is a golden age? A golden age, of course, is a time of peace, prosperity, cultural achievement. We've talked about golden ages so many times. Every time we get an explosion of culture where everyone's inventing stuff, everyone's discovering stuff, everyone's being awesome, that's a golden age. And then that's when we get the coolest things of a society. Now, for this one right here, we just need to know that merchants are going to be very important, okay? You don't have to write every single thing on here, but you need to know that the idea that Muhammad was a merchant made it so that people respected that profession because, I mean, if it's good enough for the prophet, come on, it's good enough for you, right? And so they build this huge trading empire because who doesn't like being rich, right? And merchants brought in a ton of wealth. Now, one of the things that we see with golden ages typically, you have two options when you have a bunch of money. So we have Queen Claribert. Now, she could go buy more palaces and fancy jewels for herself, or she can improve her kingdom. Golden ages typically are monarchs aren't jerkbags and only care about themselves. They care about their people. So Claribert, of course, being wise and amazing, is going to invest in building schools and invest in paying a mayor to make art and invest in paying Onedo to make music and paying Mide to build buildings and things like that. So we wind up going and having an Arab golden age because their rulers are investing in their people, in their kingdom, to have more education so people are smarter, more art so people can enjoy life more. So really, like I said, on this one, you just need to know that merchants were muy importante and they wound up going and building a huge trade network. Don't feel like you have to write every single thing. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Patel. Now, Silk Road, we talked about this last year. We're going to talk about it more this year. The Silk Road is going to be important, and the Arabs are going to have a monopoly on the Silk Road sections getting to Europe and Africa. And so because of that, Arabs are going to get mucho dinero for, being able to do that because they can jack up the prices. Now, Muslim art. Muslim art is going to be very unique, very interesting, very cool. Because the Quran said we shouldn't go and have pictures of people. Much like we had with our iconoclasm, this idea was that, because let's face it, Anna is an amazing artist. We all know this. And if Anna were to draw a portrait of Mr. Kenny, who is already like the paragon of handsomeness, like it would be like a combo too powerful for you guys to do it. And you guys might just start worshiping the image, right? I know, crazy. So obviously I'm using me as an example because I'm like far from handsome, but this idea that they didn't want to portray humans because it might cause people to have the wrong thoughts. So instead, we're going to get all this geometric patterns and all these cool things. In math classes, you've probably done something called a tessellation, where you go take a pattern and you move it and you have all sorts of colors and things like that. If you haven't, you will do that in art and sometimes in your geometry classes. Another cool thing that they do for art is calligraphy, the art of fancy schmancy writing, and we've all seen Mr. Kenny's handwriting. His font is illegible. Wait, you don't have art? Why don't you have art?
We have Lab 21.
What's that? Is it art?
It's like when you do coding and stuff.
It's not really coding. I don't even know. It's kind of.
Well, she said we were gonna do coding.
It's kind of. We're learning about infographics and growth.
It's very confusing right now.
Okay.
It's like the brain gas. Like.
Okay.
It's basically learning. I mean, it is taught by the art
All right.
teacher.
Pause. Emmy, was that basically what you were gonna say? Or so? Okay. So, bummer. Well, you'll have art again in the future, I'm sure. Yeah, well, kind of tough to do it virtually anyway. So yeah, I understand. So this idea was, like right here, this image right here, you're like, Mr. Kenny, you lied to us. That's totally a dude. False. It's actually someone going and writing fancy schmancy in the shape of a dude. Isn't that crazy? That says something in Arabic. I don't read Arabic, so I couldn't tell you. Often calligraphy are going to be words from the Quran, because it's their holy book. Like this one right here. Couldn't tell you what it says. It says something in Arabic, probably from the Quran. But yeah, pretty cool. And let's see, what are we doing on time? We're going to do one more. And I know we've gone super fast, and I apologize. I'm sorry. Architecture. So they're going to take what we see with the Greeks, the Romans, and they're going to improve upon it. This one, once again, you don't have to write all of these details. In fact, the first bullet is probably sufficient enough that they took things from other people, much like we see Constance, and then put their own spin on it. Right here on the top, we have what's called the Dome of the Rock. We have this beautiful church that's built in Jerusalem. Or excuse me, mosque. I'm very sorry. It's a mosque, not a church. It's a holy place or a place of religious worship, but it's not a church. It's a mosque. Sorry, headache. And in there, we see this beautiful golden dome, which, remember, the Byzantines made lots of domes. Remember, they conquered land from the Byzantines, and they said, oh, that's really cool. Let's do that even better. And then also, we're going to see close-ups of these kind of things later on, but this is beautifully intricate, inlaid, and all of this awesomeness. And we see all these arches. Oh, it's so cool. I'd love to see it in person. And here we have a different mosque. Check this one out. Like with the spiral going up and having it right on the top. It's so cool. So we're going to have really cool towers and domes and things being done. All right, and that's going to be our notes for the day. I thank you very much for your patience. I thank you for rolling with the punches and us kind of like cramming two things in one. Like I said, I did snip a little bit. That'd be funny. I did snip a little bit off